Hey guys, welcome to DJs BrewTube.
Happy St. Patrick's Day!
Happy St. Patrick's Day! Yes, it's me, DJ, your host, and my best drinking buddy John is back, and we had a lot of beer tonight. As you can see, we've got a really big lineup.
We got a green fur-haired dog.
Yes, and we got a dog with green hair.
Our stunt-drinking dog.
Our stunt-drinking dog, Keisha. So, we'll start off the review. We'll do it round robin. I'll do one, John do one, and we'll get all the way to the end. And tonight we've got our friend Rasputin as our dessert drink. Since I've given up coffee for Lent, I've got to substitute
and I've given up beer for Lent.
John's given up beer for Lent, except for on St. Patrick's Day because it doesn't count. Okay, so we'll start out with our friend Troegs Perpetual IPA. Perpetual IPA is a really East Coasty IPA. It's got a lot of caramel in it. It's still got pretty high bitterness to it. 7.5% alcohol. Man, it had really high citrus notes, piney, caramel in the middle of the tongue, and it really finished off and make you want some more of it with that creamy kind of caramel in the back end of it. But it was still bitter enough to be called an IPA. It's kind of that middle of the roader. It's not a California style, but it's a real good representation of that East Coast style of IPA. What do you think about it, John?
Excellent.
John says excellent. I drink it again. I like Troeg stuff a lot. I'm a fan. We drank it in our Mad Elf goblets. I've got bigger goblets here because the Mad Elf probably won't hold this Rasputin one, so the head comes up on it. But next up is John's turn.
Oh, really?
Yes. Which one is that?
The Tire Bite.
Oh, Tire Bite, yes.
Yeah, very light from what I remember. Golden Ale. Yes.
We got notes.
I got notes, eh? Golden Ale, Piss Yellow, as it's called.
That was my description.
Yeah, it was very corny, or corn-flavored, malty type sweet, something of hops, but it was weak. Dude, you spelled weak wrong.
Oh, did I? Well, we just pounded that. What do you expect?
Not the best beer, but it was okay. Truly, it was after drinking the Perpetual IPA and going to that, it was more of a taste. It just didn't compare. I do have to say, not a big fan, but we could maybe do it another time, but definitely the first one was a lot better.
We had a bunch of people over for the party tonight, and a lot of them were non-craft beer drinkers. They're kind of that, most common denominator drinker, and we want to sort of maybe try and elevate their palate a little bit. And that one, to me, is kind of like a step up from Bud and some of those. It's still pretty... Keisha likes it, though. It's still a pretty easy drinking beer, but, it's got a little bit of taste to it. Maybe kind of bring them to the light side instead of the dark side of macro beer drinking. So the next one up, we had our friend Fordam. I'm big into drinking local beer. You got to do your duty, drink locally. And this is Fordam. This is their Scotch Ale. It's a 6.8% Scotch Ale, and it's pretty much a caramel bomb, like Scotch Ales are. There's a lot of it's a real caramel-forward beer. When you smell it, you get a lot of malt and kind of sweetness in the aroma, and it's actually a bit boozy to me for a 6.8% only by alcohol beer. Real low bitterness on it. Ooh, these are about to fall because the dogs were going to lay on them. It was medium thin in texture, and overall, there we go. Drunken dog. Overall, it was a pretty decent beer. I don't know if I'd buy it again. What do you think?
No, I wasn't too impressed. I've had other Scotch ales. One from I think it was Legend down in Richmond.
That was a lot better.
It was a lot better, a little more hoppier than a typical Scotch ale, but not too bad. But yeah, this wasn't it was weak for me as well.
Fordam, if you're watching, guys, I'm pretty disappointed in you. I've drank at Ram's Head Tavern since the day you guys started in '95, and the beers the tavern put out are way better than the stuff that you guys put out of your plant. I know you've merged with Dominion now, so maybe you got something better going on, but the stuff that comes out in the bottles just doesn't get it. We've been to the tavern plenty of times, and the beers there are really pretty good. But this is, it's a B- to a C+ beer at the most. It's a shame too because that's my local brewery. But they moved to Delaware because of the egregious laws of Maryland. But whatever. So next up to bat, since we drank a lot tonight, is Lagunitas. Censored or Kronik. Wink, wink, Kronik. Who's reviewing this one? Me?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Kronik's a copper ale. Beauty, yeah. For these guys, it's a really low IBU ale. It's only 25 IBUs, 6.25% alcohol. And usually, Lagunitas makes like hop bombs, no matter what they do. And any style, it's got that big bitterness to it. But that is a really, really drinkable ale. It's smooth, it's malty, it's a really balanced beer with just a little bit of bitterness. And medium carbonation, medium mouthfeel, man. I mean, that's a real sessionable beer, if you ask me. All in all, it's got a amber sort of copper color to it, like pure like mining copper type color. The head is pretty decent. It was like one finger or whatever, but besides that, a very, very drinkable beer, like most of Lagunitas beers.
Yeah, I agree. I could drink this several times over. It doesn't have the weed that it should have, but it was a very good beer. I'd definitely do it again.
Next up, we've got the, In Heat Wheat Hefeweizen by Flying Dog. This is the second Flying Dog beer of the night.
And that wasn't the white dog that you saw.
No, that wasn't the white dog, no.
With the green hair.
It's your typical Hefeweizen. Low alcohol percentage. I think that's only like 4% alcohol by volume. Real low IBU, like 16 or something like that. Very drinkable. It's kind of a beer basically you could slam one after another.
Good summer drinking beer, definitely.
More carbonated than I like. I mean, I'm not a big carbonated guy. I kind of shook it up to deaden down the carbonation a little bit. But the uncultured or unbeer geek people that were here today, they really liked it.
Yep.
So that was a good thing. Mission accomplished on that one. That's kind of why we bought it.
Yep.
So next one, I know my boy Johnny wants to review.
Guinness, the Foreign Extra Stout. 7.5% alcohol.
St. Patrick's Day, you got to drink it.
There's every St. Patrick's Day, you've got to have a Guinness, but boy Dane here was like, you need to get the Foreign Extra Stout, so I went searching for it and finally found it. No thanks to Total Wine. Wegmans, you scored big on this one today. I've always gone for the one in the can with the little CO2 cartridge, but this one right out of the bottle was real nice. A little bit more pop than a typical Guinness, but not that bitter aftertaste that you usually expect in some of the other Guinness that we've had.
And it's more hoppy.
Yeah.
They hopped this one up originally when they created this beer so they could take it on the sea passage over to India or something, so they could have stout and IPAs. But man, this one, it's got a great finish to it, and it's still got that big caramel and coffee and everything that you're looking for in a Guinness. And the head, man, he poured it, had the great 2.5 finger head. We put it in an imperial pint glass, filled it almost to brimming over the top with head in it, man. This is the one to drink, guys. Regular Guinness is good. They sell billions of pints of it a year, literally billions of pints. But this one is just a notch above.
Yeah, 92 points on Beer Advocate, or 96, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Earned every point.
Yep.
And they're stingy as hell with their points, as you guys know, on Beer Advocate. If they're rating it that's the one to give it a try.
All right. Next one.
Next one up is a beer I've reviewed on my YouTube, on BrewTube, is Resin. And I snuck this one in on my boy Johnny because, as you know, last time we were talking, I'm going to turn him into a hophead, and this one's a nice 103 IBUs.
And well worth it. I agree. It smelled like, after I went out and mowed the lawn, took one whiff and was like, hey man, I just cut the grass. But for high hoppy beer, I did enjoy it. Kind of coming around a little bit to the hop side of things, and it was
Come
nice.
to the hop side.
You are my father.
Plus, we're talking 9.1% ABV on this, so it can get you going. This is a really awesome summertime beer too. When it's hotter, I'm going to get another 4-pack of this. It's kind of in like Red Bull size cans, so it's sort of fun to drink. But this, I think, I've had a lot of the Sixpoint beers and tastings and different things. I haven't bought a whole lot, but I've had them in tastings, and this is my favorite one out of them. They're diesel. They call it a stout, but really it's a black IPA. But this is a true double IPA. Great hop presence. They got that fresh hop thing going on. Good work, guys.
Excellent.
Next up is our friends. Soul is faster, bigger, better, bolder from Bruery and DogFish Head. We polished off that bottle. This is a tribute bottle to the folks who got hit by the earthquake in Japan. Part of the proceeds went to them, so I bought it. This is sort of an okay beer. To me, it was a kind of a meh beer. It's got a lot of the DogFish handle in it. From what I've tasted, remember we had that Jiahu stuff? It's kind of like a muted sort of version of Jiahu. And I was sort of upset that the brewery didn't put more of their fingerprint on this beer and like sort of DogFish had controlled it. Because it was like, I almost remind me of the Affinium, didn't it? From it's like that champagne-y sort of, and I guess the sake yeast does it or whatever, but...
A brute.
Yeah. I don't think I'd buy that one again. I mean, I'm talking like B- to a B at the most on that beer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got 8.25% alcohol by volume, so you can catch maybe a little buzz off it. It's got some kumquats, but the only thing I could taste was spice and like carbonation. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it felt like drinking some champagne. Not so great champagne at New Year's Eve. I would definitely. I agree. I'm not a big fan of it at all.
Might be for some people, but I guess it didn't hit our
taste buds.
Yeah. So, without further ado, tonight we've got our friend Old Rasputin, one of the highest rated stouts in the world. This is definitely an A beer on Beer Advocate and also on Rate Beer. So let's see what we get out of it. Crack a bottle.
We get beer out of it.
That's right. And this is why we drink beer, right, guys? Have some fun with our friends, make some videos or whatever. If you like it, you don't. If you don't, oh well. We're having fun. Man, motor oil.
Almost looks like a Guinness.
Yes.
A little creamier.
Look at that. Look at the head on that.
Color head on that.
Freaking 3-finger head.
Definitely 3 fingers right there.
I got a little more aggressive on his, but let's see. We'll get all that out of there. Now this is a 9.1% ABV. This is by North Coast Brewing, and there's no light getting through that. I mean, it's pitch black, khaki color head, super small bubbles, alcohol legs out the wazoo on this one. Let's see what we got on the nose.
A little bit of coffee, caramel.
Chocolate.
Yep.
Maybe even a little cherry, yeah? I don't know.
Yeah. Allergy season now.
Yeah, I took my decongestant today. Oh, man. Coffee maximus.
Very much.
Now this sucks. I'm even craving coffee even more since I get off for Lent. I'm drinking this and I want coffee even more. Man.
Nice aftertaste. Doesn't hang around that long. A little bit of hoppiness, bitterness to it, but nothing that is going to make you want to go away from this beer. I think it's something that I could sit down and have a nice burger or something with.
Yeah, this will stand up to your big foods, your strong cheeses, all that stuff. But man, this is a really big beer, and from what people have told me, you can age this and put a couple of years on that, and it's even smoother. So, man, I think once it warms up too, it might even get a little bit more flavors. But to me, it's like drinking a cup of black coffee, but like gourmet black coffee. Like you go into a Starbucks and gotten an espresso. I mean, this is
one of the reserves coffees.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is an awesome beer. Which I think is an awesome way to end the night.
Exactly.
So, guys, cheers to you. Salante. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And remember, do your duty. Drink locally. Support your local brewers. Let's keep this craft beer moving, growing. Cheers.
Cheers.